Good morning. My name is Scott LaFerge, and I am the United Methodist Men's Club president at the Stanhope United Methodist Church. We've been having our Palm Sunday breakfast for as long as I could remember. When the pandemic hit in 2020, we were not able to have the breakfast live and in person, so we skipped that year. Last year in 2021, things were still questionable, so we went for a virtual presentation. This year we'll be going virtual as well, but we look forward to having everybody back together at the Stanhope United Methodist Church to join us for a breakfast live and in person for 2023. This year is my honor to introduce our guest speaker. It's the president of the Trinity United Methodist Men's Group, Bill Blaskopf, and he will be speaking about Trinity United Methodist Men's focus on service and fellowship. Thank you, Bill.
Good morning. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bill Blaskopf. You should know that I'm really quite humbled that you and Scott invited me to speak at this breakfast. My family was a member of Stanhope from shortly after we moved into our Bud Lake house in 1983 until we stopped attending services here in 1996. I have some incredibly fond memories of our years here. Amongst my favorites, of course, was the Easter Sunday service across the street at the lake. It was always such a beautiful service with the sun rising over the lake. My daughters didn't enjoy getting up that early, but Fran and I certainly enjoyed the services. Another good memory was my participation in the Maundy Thursday Last Supper in reenactment. I only participated a couple of times, but I do remember that I was Jude. I remember and still have a picture of us that appeared in the papers. Here it is. So I am but I'm also have heard that the tradition continues, and I'm so happy for you. But to bore you for a moment, here's a picture that I saved from the newspaper from those years. If you look carefully, you will see me off to the end right there. But it was I always enjoyed that. That was like fabulous. My daughters attended Sunday school and then MYF during their years here. I believe that both girls ended up having leadership roles in MYF that served them well as they grew up. For that, I am forever thankful to Stanhope UMC. Speaking of MYF, my wife Fran and I actually met at an MYF dance in 1964 at Babylon Methodist Church on Long Island, where we grew up. I'm proud to be able to state that I consider myself a lifetime Methodist. My family moved from Brooklyn to Babylon when I was about 6 years old. My parents would take me down to Sunday school, and I went from Sunday school from basically first grade until I graduated. Not only did I go, but my four younger siblings went, and three of the five of us have actually been or married in the Babylon Methodist Church. One more statement about that is late in his life, my father was a lay leader at Babylon Church. I always remember he was so happy. I guess in June he would give the pastor a Sunday off, and he did the sermon. So that was always a lot of fun. After stopping attending Stanhope in 96, Fran and I attended no church until 2013. At one point earlier that year, we realized something was missing in our lives. And we ended up talking about it. We realized we were missing church. So Fran at that point had become friends with a couple of members of Trinity, and she called them, talked to them a little bit, and we ended up attending. Our first Sunday was actually Palm Sunday 2013 at Trinity Church. once we joined, about a month or so later, when they had their new member induction, for lack of a better word. I know it's not the best word, but it's the one that's coming to my head at this point. Fran jumped in with 2 feet and got a lot, started participating in a lot of things. I did not, because at that point I was still teaching full time. For those that may remember, I was a high school math teacher at Newark Academy down in Livingston. I taught there for 40 years full time until 2014, and then worked part time covering maternity leaves and hospital leaves for another 6 years. This is actually my first year that I'm walking around saying I am fully retired at this point. But that's neither here nor there, but I am retired. This is my 5th year as president of the Trinity UMM. COVID has prevented us from having elections the last couple of years. But we haven't had anybody step up and say, hey, Bill, I want to replace you. They do, okay. If not, I have such a great time doing this. The leadership team we have is really fantastic. We all, everybody's works well together. And a man named Glenn Ashton is the current vice president. And Glenn said is so involved in a bunch of other things at church. He says he doesn't want to succeed me. So we will see what happens. I'd like to share a couple things about Trinity UMM. We meet the second Saturday every month, September to June, for breakfast. We start at 8 o'clock and try to end by 9:30. We have an incredible crew of guys that come in at 6 o'clock in the morning and cook breakfast for us. Breakfasts were continued into, full-time breakfast went until March 2020, and we stopped for COVID and restarted this past September. And we had breakfast September, October, November, December. January, we canceled because of at that point the rise in COVID. February, we didn't meet because that was our hoagie preparation day, which I'll tell you about in a little while. And we met in February, March, and April. And you're seeing this on Sunday the 10th. We actually had breakfast yesterday on Saturday the 9th. Typically, as I said, breakfast starts at 8, but we have coffee available at 7:30. And then the program tends to be 8 to 8:30. We eat and enjoy each other's company. 8:30 to 8:45, we have announcements and a devotion. And then from 9:45 to 8:45 until about 9:30, we usually have some kind of a program. Yesterday, our speaker was a woman named Linda Barth. Linda is a author who lives here in New Jersey. She's published a bunch of books on Jersey. And yesterday, her topic was the Garden State, where ideas grow. She spoke about the many inventions that have occurred in New Jersey. Continuing, May 14th is our next breakfast. We have a man named Joel Demnitz speaking on the biblical authority. And he'll be answering the questions, what is the Bible? Why should I give it my attention? And why should I place myself under its authority? I'd like to, at this point, invite each of you to attend Joel's presentation. Again, that's Saturday, May 14th. And arrive anytime between 7:45 and 8 o'clock. That's when we start. If you'd like to come, and I certainly hope you do, I just need you to RSVP to me so that we know how much food to cook. We've been real careful about not overcooking food. We want to make sure we have enough, but we don't want to cook too much because at this time we really don't want to waste any food. As president, It's my responsibility to arrange for a lot of the speakers. As I'm blessed to have a lot of people on the executive committee with good ideas. The difference is being I'm the one that's fully retired, has the time to contact people. So even though I get a lot of credit, that's not what is really happening. All I'm doing is I'm the front person contacting the speakers and going from there. Another program I'd like to speak about that I'm very proud of is we started about 1.5 years ago, a program called Understanding Our Neighbors. And what we've done is we've invited some religious leaders from other religions to come speak to us. To date, we've had a Muslim, we've had a Buddhist, a Hindu, and a Jain. And next fall, we have a Christian Scientist coming. We're working on a few others because we just think it's important for everybody to understand each other. And the best way we have of doing that is to invite people to come speak to us. And I've been really happy with the response of the people we invite saying, absolutely, I'll be glad to come speak to you. And the response of when they're there, the response of our attendees. Another big project we have every year is the Reverend Matthias Torgerson Scholarship. This Reverend Torgerson was one of our pastors who passed away in 2008, and UMM started a scholarship in his name. The last couple of years, we've been able to raise $2,000 for the scholarship. We raise the money a couple of different ways. The first way is we take 20% of the free will offering at each of our breakfasts and immediately put that in the scholarship fund. Then our two big fundraisers are, every year we have a hoagie sale. We try to sell them on Super Bowl weekend. This year, because we didn't sell as many and because COVID was still around, we still sold 120 hoagies at $10 each, and we delivered them on the day before Super Bowl Sunday. The other thing we do is now we're in the third year of partnering with a farm in Hackettstown called Donaldson's Farms. We take orders for Christmas wreaths and collect the money and then pay Donaldson's a certain amount of the money we collect. We keep the rest. And when people do that, they get to go to Donaldson's and pick up the wreath themselves. And of course, it helps Donaldson's because once they're on the property, they buy a lot of things. This year, we did sell 40 wreaths and made almost $300 profit from that. And as of earlier this week, I'm recording this actually on March 31st. Earlier this week, we received an anonymous check. So we currently have $1,800 in the scholarship fund. And we'll probably just pull the rest from our general budget to make sure we have it. And some of the other things we do besides the breakfast, the hoagie and wreath sales, we're involved in the church's annual crosswalk on Good Friday. It's interesting because the first time I attended service at Trinity was on Palm Sunday, and I heard about the crosswalk and I went there that Friday. And for the crosswalk, we gather outside the church at 5:30, and we take turns carrying a wooden cross up and down the streets of Hackettstown. We walk to one end on one side of the street, come back the other, and we take turns carrying the cross. Fortunately, the cross is hollow, so it's not too heavy, but it certainly is nice not to carry it too long. A couple of years ago, I carried it probably longer than I should have, and I was a little tired that night. If we get back to church, We stand outside the church and we sing the hymn, of course, the old wooden cross. Then we wait a couple of minutes, go in, and we have our Good Friday service. The UMM also helps with cooking for the church's annual Welcome Back barbecue in September. This year, we're going to be working with the Pastor Parish Relations to host a welcoming picnic in June, hopefully in June, for our new lead pastor, Reverend Eric Muniz. I'm not sure if you know, but Reverend Frank Pastor passed away this past year, passed away during 2021. And Frank had been our lead pastor for 38 years. Except for last year, we've also had an annual trip to one of the local minor league ballparks. We basically alternate between the Sussex Miners and the Somerset Patriots. And we have about 30 people attend these games. And actually, I'm wrong. I'm reading off my notes, trying to do things correct. I should mention that at our normal breakfast, when we cook breakfast, we have anywhere from 30 to 50 people attend, depending on, I guess, how popular the speaker's topic is. I won't be able to speak about Linda Barth because it occurs after I've recorded this. I will tell you in February, we had a speaker from the New Jersey Canal Society, Mr. Tim Roth. And for him, we had 32 people speaking. And Tim is coming, we had 32 people listening to his speech. And he's coming back on Saturday, April 18th, and is going to lead us on a walk along a part of the canal that still exists in Hackettstown, part of the walkway. So we'll be doing that as well. Scott sent me a list of all the things that you guys do, and you do a lot. You really, really do. You should be proud of all the service, all this good that you do in God's name. I will admit, when I saw the list, I took a quick look to see if there was anything we could copy. There may be, but right now, nothing. So it's coming. In closing, allow me to thank you for inviting me to this breakfast. I'm sorry that I can't be there in person to share the meal with you. I pray that I was not too boring and would like to invite all of you to our breakfast in May. Obviously, Scott knows how to reach me. I wish you all a good Palm Sunday, a wonderful Holy Week, and a blessed Easter. May God bless you all. Bye.
Thank you for joining us this morning, this year. We really appreciate everybody who could participate. Thanks again to Bill Blaskopf for being our speaker. And we look forward to seeing everyone again next year, Palm Sunday at the Stanhope United Methodist Church. Have a great Holy Week and blessed Easter season.